And welcome back to Casa Royal Blanco. We've been just getting a lot of work done here as we've got the roof all on now. So this is all the substructure here that you're seeing. Basically, it's all the joists with the blocking put in. We've got our rebar and our wire mesh on top. You can see a bunch of the conduit that's in. And then these concrete lines that you've seen are actually our flow lines that we have for setup. So the water will run away when we get the rainstorms here, because you get lots of rain, so you don't want it all focused into one or two spots and overwhelm the drains. So we have a bunch of drains around the outside, and then we'll push the water down. As you see, the guys are getting set up top there, putting on a bit of stuff here that bonds the concrete so that it won't separate from the old concrete to the new. Also watering down the roof. Again, just helps with adhesion for the new concrete going down, because it's pretty dry up there, so you don't want it to cure too quick in some places. So that water and then this concrete bonding agent will help on those flow line channels that are put in ahead of time. So you can see here the guys are getting ready now. The pump is in place, and we're going to start getting going from the front side. We're going to work across and then all the way to the back and out behind where the camera is here. So let's maybe have a look here and watch as the guys get going and start putting some concrete down on the roof. So the concrete here will be probably about 5.5 inches in the middle. Will taper out to about 3.5 to 4 inches depending where the water line flows. But the cap is in general about 4.5 to 5 inches on the roof. We've also had our solar company here that is going to be putting solar panels on the roof. And what they've done is pre-set up places to mount the solar panel arrays so that everything is just ready to go. When they come, they can basically hook up their mounting system, and then it's all tied into the roof. They don't have to drill anything. They don't have to do any other work on the roof, or minimal work anyway. So it's kind of nice when you can have this pre-done ahead of time. It saves some work and probably get a better result. You don't have to worry about somebody drilling into a conduit line or anything else that you have there, because they don't know what's buried in the roof as it goes along. So there's our subscribe sign. Don't forget, hey, hit the subscribe button if you're watching this. YouTube likes to see that. Hit the subscribe button. Also the notifications. We're going to try put out some videos here these ones have been coming every week lately, but maybe every couple weeks as we get into finishing after this. This video is probably a couple weeks behind from when we actually did the job. It was basically at the beginning of October right now when we're pouring this. We've gone on to finishing on the inside. Some of the walls are already getting done and plastered. Get ready for the finish coats, starting to get everything measured out for the trim out. And then guys are already starting to level some of the yard and get some of the infill done around the pool. Crews are busy. Have a look at this for a few minutes, and then we'll come back and maybe explain some more things as we go along. All right, so truck number 1 is done on the roof. Truck number 2 is here. Things are going fast, doesn't take long. You guys can get the concrete pumped up pretty quick, and then it just takes time to finish. As we go along into the second load, you make sure you see how they're filling the beams there. And this is how we all ended up with the flat roof. Everything done. You can see some of the other restraints up there for the walls that are going to go on top. We'll have a parapet wall all the way around the outside, I guess, a couple of feet, 3 feet. So the guys got all that done. And later that day, we had a great big rain, which actually worked out really good because then you see where all the few little low spots are. So what the guys actually did was came in just before the end of the day with some self-leveling compound mortar and got it all troweled out so that the water would actually make sure that it didn't have any low little pools. Pretty hard to get that exact when you're doing a fast pour. So they just came back, and what they did, you can see here in some of the pictures, is just got everything tightened up a little bit. Here's a couple of days later, a little bit foreshadowing what's coming up ahead of time. The guys are already here. This is the Monday morning, about 10 o'clock, and they've already got the blocks going onto the top of the roof to build up the walls that go around and will hide it. And here's some of the crew after the pour. Everybody gets lunch. That is part of the tradition. So I decided to treat them this time as I was here. So 5 big pizzas for the crews, and I think we had about 6 bottles of Coca-Cola. These guys go on sugar, I think. They're a good bunch of guys, though. They work hard, and they do appreciate the things that they get like this. So we appreciate the work that they've been doing for us on this project, and that they work in the heat and the rain and everything else. The mosquitoes have been pretty bad down here the last little bit. They're starting to get a little bit better now. So thanks, everybody, for coming and joining us on this little adventure on our episode here of getting the roof pour on top. The next thing that we got coming up is starting to do some of the finish work. We'll get into getting the walls finished and the plaster layers going onto those and getting everything smoothed out and making it start to look a little pretty. Some of the outside work will get done with the landscaping and so on. So what I'm going to do is just give you a bit of time-lapse speed through here to show you what happened to get to the roof to the end, and we'll catch you up on the next one. Casa Royal Blanco.
Una parada acá, tío. Ahí.
Esa es la mitad, la otra es igual.
Mira, tiene una palabra. Ya no te meto bien, no te meto bien. No, salte bien. Salte, déjalo. Ahí aguanta. los de aquí. Acá tío, vete, venga. Sí, todos. Ah, bueno, pero ya los vemos por otro día. Ahí va otro. Entró una vez allá. Ahí entró, mira, ¿ves? Abajo.